Within the early 1900s to late 1930s, both the Chicano and Harlem Renaissance movement stood as a unifying hold of cultural progression in the United States. Both crossed racial boundaries in a time of segregation and exclusion. They halted as backbones in some way to help modernize American society, one contributing through the industrial era, while the other as a literary movement. By the late 19th century, early 20th, the working class Mexican was manually contributing to the modernizing concept of commercial distribution. Industrial labor was prosperous, creating a boom of commercial agriculture, as well as the uprising of the Mexican Revolution and overthrowing of Porfirio Diaz. Along with this direction was the movement of Chicano muralism to embody the spirit they had achieved in the revolution. The murals depicted what it truly meant to be Chicano. By the 1920s, many established their livelihood within California. However, with the effects of the Depression era, thousands of Mexicans were seen as a liability and deported back to Mexico. This in particular would create an extensive distrust for the American government within the Chicano culture. Known as the Negro movement, the Harlem Renaissance stood as a literary and political revolution through the works of art, jazz, poetry, books, music, and every other style of individual composition. In a sense, artists of the Renaissance were fully aware of the radical message they were portraying, yet stood firm in continuing to push the envelope to constantly change connotations of what was black culture regardless of criticism. The concept of the new Negro was born. Through this uplifting perspective, works of art, music, and literature would be created to challenge the stereotypes and extending racism. Like the Chicano movement, not only would it be a progressive movement in the culture, but socially and politically as well, while promoting racial and social integration.